Good evening, ladies, and welcome to Effortless Attraction Masterclass, where you will learn the 6 simple steps to effortlessly attract qualified quality leads and turn them into paying clients over and over and over again, even if you're just getting started in your business. So you are in the right place if you are a female entrepreneur who is ready to stop struggling to attract leads, right? You're done with that. If you're done confused about how to make money in your business without becoming a content factory and having to be just a post machine, then this is for you. If you've ever laid awake at night afraid that your business was never going to gain the momentum that you know it deserved. If you ever feel like you're always at a dead end when it comes to attracting qualified leads and turning them into paying clients, right? So if that sounds like you are in the right place. Let's just get the housekeeping out of the way. My name is Christy Williams, and I am a business success coach. I work with women who are ready to create, build, and launch their online empire. Now, a little bit of my backstory. When I graduated college from Eastern Connecticut State University, I majored in communications and specialized in public relations. So I knew I wanted to work with people, right? I knew I wanted to get out there, really get in the community and find out what people needed and how I could help them. What ended up happening after a slew of jobs that just really didn't fit my personality and didn't fit my spirit, and I knew I was meant for more, I decided to go into entrepreneurship. Now, ECSU, I graduated from there. They taught me nothing about starting your own business. So I was under the impression that all I was going to need was a website, a product, and a PayPal. And let me tell you, ladies, I have never been so wrong. So over the course of building my first business in 2017, I just kept running into these learning curves, and they were so steep, and it almost made me feel a little less passionate about what I was doing. And I just thought to myself, there has to be an easier way to build a passion-based business that's sustainable and you can make money from it. So because I decided to DIY my business in the beginning, it took me months of trial, error, and lots of sleepless nights. But I finally created a system that was built to help new entrepreneurs create the business of their dreams with high visibility, become the go-to expert in their niche, and consistently turn their followers into paying clients. I turned my struggle business into a full-time income, and now I work with ambitious women just like you who are ready to do the same, who do not want to compete in their niche. They do not want to compete in their market. They want to dominate. So if that sounds like you as well, then you are definitely in the right place. And that's a little bit about me. So my promise to you, I promise to keep this training as clear and concise as possible. I know when you're first starting out in entrepreneurship or when you're having struggles in a certain area, you don't need information overwhelm. You don't need analytic paralysis or whatever, like all that jargon, and it gets jumbled up and just adds to the confusion. And my goal is to eliminate the confusion, not add to it. I also promise not to regurgitate fluff or BS that you could have found on a Google search. So you don't have to worry about that. I am giving you clear, concise, detailed information. So at this time, it is time to get your pen, your pencil, your notepad, whatever it is you're using, clear out all your distractions and get ready to learn the 6 secrets to effortlessly attracting clients. So, in order, step 1 is getting out of the employee mindset, right? Because that's where we all start sometimes. So 1, getting out of the employee mindset. 2, be 100% clear in your messaging. 3, know exactly who you serve. Exactly. That's why that word is so big. Exactly who you serve. 4, build your tribe the right way. And 5, make an irresistible offer. And 6, I'll be revealing a special secret at the end. So this is an employee mindset versus a boss mentality. An employee mindset says, now I'll put in the effort as long as I have a guaranteed outcome. So yeah, I'll work from 9 to 5, but as long as I'm getting my 15, 16 an hour and nobody messes up my check, I could do it. I'm willing to do the work, but with conditions. Like the pay has to be right. I have to be comfortable. I can't really, I'm not really wanting to do too much. I want to do my job, not everybody else's. And I'll go to seminars and go to speeches and employee development and events as long as it's free and I don't have to pay for it because I'm not paying. That's what an employee mindset sounds like. So, if that sounds like you, then you want to hang out with me for these next 40 minutes because we are going to get rid of that employee mindset and get you into the boss mentality. So the boss mentality says, I'll put in the effort no matter what the outcome is. Boss mentality entrepreneurs, we operate with the end in mind, right? We start with the end and then we work our way there. So no matter what the outcome is of one step, we are going to continue to put in our best effort because we're working towards something that we honestly believe in and we want to happen. And there is no guarantees and we don't need them because we know that we can make this happen. Boss mentality says, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make my dreams a reality by any means necessary. Malcolm X on them right there. By any means necessary. So come hell or high water. If you don't have the time, you'll make it. If you don't have the money, you'll find it. If you don't have the energy, you'll get it. Whatever the case is, a boss mentality says, I'm going to make this happen no matter what. Boss mentality also says, I invest in myself and my growth with courses, coaches, and seminars no matter the cost. Here's the thing. If you're an entrepreneur, you're in the business of fixing problems, not staying stuck in problems. So an employee mindset says, if I have to invest, if I have to pay a dime, I can't do it, I can't go. A boss mentality says, no matter the cost, no matter what it is, if it's going to take me to the next level in my business, if it's going to take me to the next level in my life, then that's where I need to be, no matter the cost. Master your messaging. Ladies, I can't tell you how disturbing it is to know that there are so many entrepreneurs out there who don't do this first, right? Who just push out content that they like and it's a few pretty pictures that they post on Instagram and get likes for it, but there's no engagement because no one's understanding your message because you haven't mastered it. You're just making pretty pictures. So master your messaging is so important. You need to know exactly what you do and who you do it for. You should be able to tell someone what you do in 10 seconds or less. So for example, finish this sentence. Hi, my name is blank, and I help blank to blank, blank, and blank. So go ahead and finish that out, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you mine. So for instance, for example, if I use myself, it would be, hi, my name is Christy Williams. I am a business success coach, and I help female entrepreneurs to create, build, and launch their first businesses. Very clear, very concise. You understand exactly what I do, who I do it for, right? So there's no room for ambiguity there. We are very, very clear on what it is that we're doing. So on to the who do you serve. Actually, I kind of want to just skip back for a second. So back to your messaging. You want to make sure that it's super, super clear, ladies. So I really want you to take a second and really look at this slide and finish that sentence. If your sentence sounds like, I am a paparazzi consultant, I'm a real estate agent, I'm a self-published author, and I bake cakes on Tuesdays. That's way too much. I am all for the multi-passionate, but you have to pick one and start there to solidify your brand so that your ideal client and your audience knows who you are and what you do. And so instead of you having to go hunt them down, they will be able to find you because you have exactly what they need. They're looking for you because you're clear in your messaging. You know what you do. You present it in such a way that is understandable and you attract people to you through that. So I really want you ladies to keep that in mind. Who do you serve? Before you can start selling to them, you need to know who they are, right? So you need to know who your ideal client avatar is. I'm sure you've heard this term before. I call them power players. It's just the person that you create, right? Characteristics, environment, sometimes race, there's gender, all these things that go into it that tell you exactly who you want to work with. Granted, there will be other people that you attract, but your ideal client avatar is your dreamy, right? They're your power player. They're the person that's going to take action. They're exactly who you want to work with. They're who you see yourself working with at all times. So here are 6 key factors you need to know about your ideal client avatar. In other words, I want you to write these questions down and make sure that you're answering them. Because if you know what your ideal client needs and who they are, then you know how to speak to them. And again, they'll come to you. You won't even have to go looking for them. So, number 1, what product or service do you offer, and what problem does this product or service solve? Now, this doesn't always have to be a physical problem. It could be a dissatisfaction. It could be an emotional state. It could be a mindset state that they need to change. So what change does your product provide, right? What transformation do you provide? You need to know this because in creating your ideal client avatar, you need to make sure what you have is what they need. And if it's not, then you need to tweak it a little. 2, what is the gender of your client? This goes across the board because your messaging is going to reflect that. You can see clearly based on the language that I use, based on the imagery that I use, and the content that I put out, that my gender for my ideal client is women. Right? Super, super clear. You know that by looking at it. So you want to determine a gender for your client. Now, if you are working with people who, or you want to work with people who feel as though, or not feel as though, but are gender neutral or non-binary, then that's also something that you want to specify in the way that you create your content. So the gender of your client would be non-binary. And that's a whole nother culture. And that's something that you really want to be versed in so that you know how to speak to them. Just like if my gender of my ideal client was men, I would have to switch so much up because right now, nothing about my messaging, nothing about my content, and nothing about my delivery is going to attract a male client. So the second piece of that is what is their age? A 5-year difference. And this is why. I had a client one time tell me that she was writing a book because she wanted to be a self-published author. And it was a book about love and self-love. So I asked her, okay, well, who are you marketing this group to? Oh, adult women, 18 plus. For me, that was very vague because when we're talking about self-love, that looks different from an 18-year-old to a 42-year-old. The life is so different. You're at different complete stages in your life. What it looks like for a woman who is just becoming a woman and coming into her own and trying to figure out who she is versus a full-grown woman who has already figured that out and just needs to have a moment to sit down, hone it in, put her kids, wherever they need to go and live her life. It looks different for those two people. So the content that you use to attract that 18-year-old is not going to attract that 42-year-old. And I'm only using these differences, these ages just to show the difference. But you need to make sure that there's a 5-year difference maximum. So it could be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. You really don't want it to go over 5 years because you want to make sure the content that you have is relevant to the audience you're trying to attract. Number 3, what is the current problems he or she is struggling with right now? What are their pain points? Pain points, ladies and gentlemen, or ladies, is what is winning, right? If you can hit the pain points, you can hit the lotto in sales. Basically, your pain point is your stuck point. It's where you are right now where you don't want to be. It's your struggle. It's how you feel. It's you being tired of staring at your phone, praying for likes. It's you being done trying to just post on every Facebook group known to man and just share everything out, hoping that it attracts somebody, right? It's you being done with thinking to yourself, maybe you're not cut out for this because it's just so hard. Those are pain points. You need to know your ideal client's pain points, because your product or service is the bridge that closes the gap between where they are and where they want to be. So you need to know where they are in their life right now, what they're struggling with. Those are their pain points. Know what's hurting them. Right? And I don't mean just on the surface. Know what's deep inside of them. Know what they're struggling with. Like, for me, I know that you're tired of feeling like this isn't going to work. I know you're tired of spending your life on social media. I know you went into business to work on a passion. This is something that you were passionate about, something that you love. And the building process and trying to get it out there in front of people, and the conversions and trying to understand automations and everything like that can be so overwhelming. It almost takes the passion out of it, right? It makes you feel like, is this really what I'm gonna do? And it just kind of takes away from that. So those are the pain points that I understand from my ideal client. You need to understand yours. When you speak to your ideal client, they need to feel like you're talking directly to them. 4, what type of industry does he or she work in and their average annual income? So when I say industry, you don't have to get super, super specific unless your product or service is very, very niche down, which is a good thing we'll talk about shortly, but you want to make sure that your product or service is niched. So let's say I say, quit your 9 to 5. Well, everyone doesn't work a 9 to 5. Some people work jobs where there's nights and evenings. Some people work jobs where they're presidents of their company. Some people work jobs where they're in leadership roles in their company. Some people are entry level and they're getting paid the bare minimum, right? So you want to know what their work life looks like. You don't have to go throughout their day and know all of that, but you want to at least know what type of job they have and their average annual income. And here's why. 2 reasons why you want to know their income. 1, because if I say, I know you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck and barely making ends close enough to wave at each other, let alone meet, I know you're not making a lot. I know that's your pain point. I know you want to make more. So my product or service is going to come in and teach you how to do that. If you're not in that financial situation, that's not something that you could relate to, then that's not a pain point for your ideal client. 2, with the average annual income, you want to make sure that you are pricing your products that are affordable to your audience. Cheap and affordable are not the same thing, ladies. Let's not get them confused. I'm not saying you put out a product that's worth $1,200 and you sell it for $40. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you want to make sure that your product is priced appropriately. So every time you put out a product or a service, they can come get it. And it's not them having to choose between if they're going to buy your product or service or pay their rent or anything like that. It's they have it, they can go get it, right? And they want it so bad. And people will buy what they want. Like, you've seen people who, we've all had people in our lives or know people who live in complete poverty. But when it comes to their clothes, it's on point. When it comes to their phones, they got the new iPhone X, the Galaxy Note 9. They are all the way up on the technology, right? And you kind of think to yourself, well, how does this fit into your socioeconomic standpoint? But nevertheless, they will find the money for what they want. So you want to make sure it's affordable for them. Doesn't mean it has to be cheap. It just has to be affordable. 5, what are his or her big goals? So what do they really want from their life? Right? Like, where do they really want to be? What do they aspire to have? How do they want to live? Do they want to work less and make more? What do they want in their life? Sorry for that typo there. And how does your product or service get them or get him or her to the big goal and assist them with living the life they desire? That is super important. So question 5 and question 1 go hand in hand. How does your product or service get him or her to the big goal? From the pain point to the big goal, your job as an entrepreneur and a business owner is to bridge the gap between where they are and where they want to be. So that's something that you guys really, really need to think about. Answer those questions, and you will have crafted a great ideal client avatar. Building your tribe. All right. If you're going to have an online business, you need to have an online audience. You do not need to become the captain of team too much. Don't try to plaster your brand all over the internet, posting it for the sake of posting and following today's trends. Be strategic and intentional. And one key that I will give you about building your tribe is hang out where your ideal clients hang out. If you want them, then you want them in front of you, which means if I know my ideal client is always listening to podcasts for inspiration or business advice or motivation, I know I want to be the podcast that she listens to, right? So I'm going to have a podcast. If I know my ideal client loves her information via video, I'm going to be on YouTube. If I know my ideal client loves to be on Pinterest, because they like to read the blogs, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be wherever they are so that I'm directly in front of them and I'm not chasing them. They're finding me. So, social media has always been filled with noise, more today than ever, and your job is not to add to it, it's to eliminate it. So here's my three-way, or my 3-point strategy for building your tribe the right way. 1, make sure you are following people who need your service. So you're either following people who are in the same business as you, that you aspire to be like, or that you would like to make connections with, or people that need your service. You don't need your mom, all your sisters and your cousins and your Facebook friends from your personal Facebook page. You don't need that, because what happens is you start to saturate your market with people who don't need your service. Now, if these are friends from your personal social media, and they've talked about this on their statuses, or they've hinted towards it, or they've mentioned it once or twice, that's great. Bring them on over. But other than that, you do not want to saturate your friends list with people who are not interested in your service, or if they just want to see it and look at it and say, oh, I'm so proud, look at my cousin. Like, that's cute and that's great, but that's not what you need to build a tribe. So you want to make sure you're very strategic about it. 2, join Facebook groups. When joining Facebook groups, make sure you read the rules. Ladies, there's no point in getting kicked out. It's not fun for you to be seen today and then, or seen for the last week, and you're going lives and you're always posting and you're present, and then all of a sudden you disappear because you got put out the group. You want to make sure that you are following the rules. So if you can't post live, or if you can't post promotional things on certain days or in that group at all, then you just don't want to do that. You want to join these these Facebook groups. Start making connections, show up in the group, answer questions that people are asking, right? This sets you up as the expert in your field, because there's so many Facebook groups where people ask questions and they just go unnoticed by anyone. That's another way to build that know, like, and trust factor. Get yourself in front of more people and build a tribe. So now you're a staple in that person's mind. And 3, connect with people who have a lot of mutual friends. So Facebook kind of does this piece for you, and it says, these are people you may know, right? And a little trick I learned about Facebook algorithms, just to put it in its simplest form. If you have a lot of interest in common and you have a lot of mutual friends, you are more likely to show up on their timeline, and it's going to be more frequent, because Facebook believes that you not only know a lot of the same people, so you might hang out in the same circles, but you have a lot of interests that are alike. So it's not going to, consider you a business or a promotional or anything like that. It's going to say, hey, these two people have a lot in common. I'm going to make sure that, this person sees this person content. Boom. Super simple. So when you're searching for your Facebook friends and you're trying to figure out who you should follow and who you should friend, and Facebook says people you may know, you want to utilize that, because you're going to show up really high on their timeline, and your content is consistently going to show up on their timeline as well. So pick 2 social media platforms. You don't need to be everywhere. You don't need a Twitter, a Facebook, an Instagram, a Periscope, a Pinterest. You don't need all that. Pick 2 and master them. You want to pick 2 social media platforms that your ideal client is obsessed with. These are 2 social media platforms that they check religiously. They are always on these. So if I know my ideal client is not always checking Twitter, I'm not going to be on Twitter. If I know my ideal client is consistently 4 or 5 times a day, they're checking their Instagram and they're checking their Facebook. Guess where I'm going to be? I'm going to be where they already are, on their Instagram and on their Facebook. And one search engine they adore. So you want to be on, again, I'm just going to say it. I'm pretty sure I said it already, but I'm just going to repeat it. If they're on Pinterest, you want to be on Pinterest. If they like blogs, you want to be on a blog. If they like podcasts, you want to start a podcast. And if they like YouTube, then you want to be on YouTube. This eliminates the fact of you having to look for them, because they'll find you because you understand them. You're already talking to them. You're literally speaking their language. It feels like you're talking directly to them. And now you're right in front of them on social media and on whatever search engine they use the most. You don't even have to look for them. It's effortless. It's effortless. You are where they are. So you don't have to hunt for them because they will come to you. All right. And the fifth secret, make your offer irresistible. When you focus on serving more than selling, that's where the magic happens. So here's the 4 steps to nailing the offer. So step 1, create a freebie that they absolutely need. Again, do your market research, get to really know who your ideal client avatar is and where they are in their life and in their business, because you'll be able to get them what they need. You wouldn't have clicked on to register for this webinar or this masterclass if you didn't need to know how to find clients or how to effortlessly attract quality clients and have them come back over and over and over again. If you didn't need that, you wouldn't be here. So you want to create a freebie that they absolutely need. That can be a challenge, which is interactive. That can be a worksheet. That can be a PDF. That can be a checklist. That can be an ebook. It can be a masterclass or a webinar. It can be so many things as long as it's free and it solves one specific problem, focuses on one specific problem that they're having and is the solution for that problem. 2, you want to optimize your landing page and your thank you page. So when they go to sign up for this freebie, you want to make sure that your landing page is catchy to their eye, that they want to read through it, that they want to find out more, and that they click the links that they're supposed to. Your thank you page is almost like your second first impression. This gives you the opportunity to add even more value. So you could, if you wanted to, if you already have a product that's for sale, you can pitch that product on the thank you page. If you're a coach and you have a bundle of workbooks and usually they're sold for $15, but for the next 5 minutes while you're on this thank you page, I'm going to sell it to you for $5. All they did was sign up for your freebie, get to your landing page and your thank you page, and if you're offering them something at a rate that they can't resist already and it's a limited time, the chances of them buying from that thank you page are super, super high. The conversion rate will increase tremendously. So you want to make sure that you're creating even more value on your thank you page. If you don't have a product and you have a Facebook group, then you want to link that. If you have social media or your blog or your YouTube or your podcast, you also want to link that on the thank you page. You want to utilize your thank you page. It's so important to utilize your thank you page. It's your second first impression before they even leave. So step 3, start building relationships with them via email sequence that warms them up. They've signed up for your freebie. They've probably joined your Facebook group or at least watched one episode of your YouTube, listened to your podcast, or read your blog. You have their name and their email address, and now it's time to start speaking to them. Social media is only made to snatch. You do not own social media. Anybody could flag your account. Facebook could lock up for some godforsaken reason, and then you wouldn't have a business if you have no other way to get in contact with these people. You want to make it more personal. So you want to speak to them via email. You want to warm them up. Let them get to know you, what you provide. Provide them with more value. It doesn't have to be all more free resources, but some sort of story or motivation or resource or whatever you want it to be. You want to make sure that you're warming them up and they get used to you. And 4, make them an offer so good it's their obvious next best move, which means that this offer is so good at this time right now, it would be silly of them. It would almost be like inconceivable for them not to take you up on your offer. Like, you've given them a freebie, they need it, they've gotten an instant result from that, it helped. You've optimized your landing page. Now they follow you on social media, and whatever your search engine is, they're there too. You've started building a relationship with them via email sequence, so now they know, like, and trust you. And now you're offering them something so good at a price so good, so much value that it's crazy, right? That they have to go get it. They would be silly to miss out on it, and they would probably, it's something, your offer needs to be something that they wouldn't even second guess. Right? Your offer is something that they would have a literal fear of missing out on if they didn't take you up on it. So those are the 4 steps to making your offer irresistible. So, ladies, my question to you is, are you ready to stop struggling and start attracting leads effortlessly? If that sounds like you and you are finally ready to stop struggling, you want to start doing things the right way, you want to be able to fall back in love with your business and stop spending all your time trying to attract leads and struggling, right? You didn't go into business to sit on Facebook all day. You went into business to live the life of your dreams, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't look like you staring at a computer screen or phone all day. So introducing the Boss Babe Bootcamp. This bootcamp is designed for female entrepreneurs who are ready to consistently attract qualified leads and turn them into paying clients time and time again. Right now, at an early bird special, the price is $73. Crazy, the usual price is $250, and this deal is good for the next 3 days. So, if this sounds like you, and you've ever second-guessed your passion or your purpose, thinking, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. If you've ever lay awake at night afraid that your business may never get the momentum that it deserves. If you're constantly staring at your phone for hours, praying for just a couple of likes or comments on your social media posts. If you've ever been confused on how to make money in your business without becoming a complete content factory, then this is for you. Ladies, I know that struggle all too well, and I've discovered that there is an easier way, even if you have no audience, no time, and no idea where to start. Imagine if you were the CEO of a passion-based online empire that could double your monthly income or even triple it. Imagine if you could spend more time with your friends and family and less time watching your phone to see how many likes or comments your latest post has attracted. Imagine if you knew all the secrets to building an audience of obsessed followers and turning them into paying clients effortlessly over and over again. Imagine if your phone was constantly blowing up with new clients purchasing your product or service, all while you were sitting in the couch in your PJs, not staring at your phone, not sitting on Instagram, not sitting on Facebook, living your life, and you are making sales and your business is booming. Are you finally ready to stop struggling in your business and start becoming the unapologetic, badass boss babe you know that you were destined to be? Then I introduce to you the Boss Babe Bootcamp, this 6-week intensive for female entrepreneurs who are ready to build their online empire. Here's a sneak peek at the course curriculum, but I will go into it here. So what you'll learn. Week 0, introduction and developing a boss mentality. That's the first thing we got to do, ladies, because broken people build broken businesses, and you cannot be an entrepreneur, be your own boss, be self-employed, and have an employee mindset. So that's the first thing we do. Week 0, we change all of that. We lay the foundation for a business that is built to last, that is sustainable. That's not just going to be here for the next year, but it's going to be here for the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the next 20 years. You're building your business in such a way that you know it's going to go further than you can ever imagine. Week 1, we master your messaging. I work with you to get super crystal clear on your messaging. There is no room for success and ambiguity. So that week, we are focused on getting clear on our messaging and making sure that our product or service serves as a solution. Week 2, we design your ideal client avatar. You know those 6 questions you answered? Well, we dig really deep into finding out exactly who your ideal client avatar is. That sounds super techy. I like to refer to them as power players. So you are going to design yours. Week 3, we focus on building your tribe. We use social media with a strategy. We put out content and make connections and really get you off of social media in a way that you're not stuck there, right? So you're building your tribe. You're building your tribe up and your audience up in a way that it works for itself in a reoccurring way. Week 4, we're crafting our irresistible offer. This is going to take a whole week because, ladies, I am bringing you through everything. So you're going to learn how to make a freebie. You're going to learn about the landing pages. You're going to learn about email marketing. You're going to learn about paid traffic versus organic traffic, everything you need to know about your offer page. No matter what you're selling or what service you provide, we are going to hone down and get that in. Week 5, master email marketing. So do's and don'ts. The 3 sequences that your email list needs to go through. That's the nurture, that's the sales, and that's the launch. Everything you need to know about email marketing, the automations, the workflows, the different service providers, everything like that, things that you didn't even think that you needed to know about email marketing, you will learn so that you master that. It's part of your engine. You get it out of the way. And week 6, we launch like a boss. You've built it up. Now it's time to launch it. So you learn the 5 secrets to having a successful launch and plan it out with our pre-made launch planner. So excited. Oh, there's more. Did I mention the bonuses? So included is a resource library where you will have all the resources every week to figure out what it is that you need and learn a little bit more. We have weekly accountability calls on Zoom. So this is audio or you can come on video. It's not on social media. This is super private, super exclusive. This is where you get to share your big wins or talk about your roadblocks or your setbacks. And we strategically figure out a way to change that and make it so that you can go along in your business and succeed and not be stuck. Because we are anti-stuck over here. We don't like to be stuck and we don't want to stay stuck. The private community, every Tuesday, we will go live in our group to answer questions, receive feedback. And every week, if you're working on something, ladies, you can post it in the group. If you're trying to build your audience, you can post your links in that group and we're going to share. We are a sisterhood. It's sisters in business here. We're working together because empowered women empower women. So you build your tribe. You get to connect with ambitious, like-minded boss babes. And it's everything there for you. And of course, that's where I'll be with the Q&A. Every week I'll be doing a Q&A. So if you have any questions, you're going to submit them. I'm going to answer them live, and it's just going to be a great time. So I'm going to bring you through a few questions that you may have. So the course material, you will be able to access it every Monday of a new week starting. You will be able to access that week's content. Week 0 is already up and ready and waiting for you. That's been done. How will the course be delivered? It's going to be on the Thinkific platform in course form. But I will also be sending you emails just as reminders, letting you know that the new content is available, dates and times that we're meeting, everything like that. So will this course work for me? If you are a real estate agent, if you're in network marketing, if you're a freelancer, if you're a blogger, if you're a makeup artist, if you're anyone in any sort of business, coach, consultant, healer, anything, this is a proven system that's tried and true across the board. It works for everyone every time. So yes, this course will work for you. And if you're not happy with the course, and you're not learning what you need to know, and you're just completely done with it, after 15 days or up to 15 days, you have a 15-day money back guarantee. So within the first 14 days, I'm going to say 14 because, I don't want you to cancel on day 15 and then issues arise. I just, keep it day 14 if we're being honest. I want you to be able to know that this is something that you need and this is something that you want. So If it's working for you, keep going. If it's not, and you can show me that you've done the work for those 2 weeks and it's just not panning out for you the way you want it to, 15 days, you get your money back. And then there's a little bit about me. So ladies, just know that this is an early bird special exclusive to you ladies. Right now it's $73. $73. Crazy. That's a night out. You're going to get 6 weeks of group coaching, content optimization, funnel building, information that you never had before, get you out of a stuck place. You have this community, you have a resource library, and it's super jam-packed with so much information for $73. Now, this is only going to be available at this price for the next 3 days. So September 4th at 12 o'clock a.m. on the dot, the price will go up. You will never see this price again. So ladies, make sure you jump on this if this is a good fit for you. If you still have questions, then email me and let me know. My email is at the bottom of the sales page. It is also, if you're on my email list, then obviously you already have it. And if not, then you can write me on social media and we'll talk about it. And we can even schedule a call, so I can answer any further questions that you may have. All right, ladies, so if you're ready to build like a boss, then check out Boss Babe Bootcamp, and I shall see you soon.